The Acolyte. What is there to say about The Acolyte? I've spent the last week, or at least a good part of it, trying to write a script for this review, and nothing I've done has worked. There's been a nagging feeling in the back of my mind, and I just couldn't place it. Then, it hit me. I've not been inspired because this show is not inspiring. It's boring. 2 episodes have released, and all you can really do is point out how none of it fits together. Sure, some of the dialogue is outright cringe.
Master Indara.
Yes, my child?
Master Torben. We have unfinished business. We have unfinished business. Attack me. Attack me. With all your strength. With all your strength.
But mostly it's just clunky, dull, and heavy and uninteresting exposition.
You lost your entire family. Your mothers, your sister. Your village all died in the fire before Master Sol brought you into the Jedi.
Indara and I saved her from a terrible fire on Brandok.
I remember.
16 years ago, I was posted on her home planet, Brandok. I was there when her sister started a fire that killed her entire family.
The general rule of thumb with storytelling is show, don't tell. That isn't to say that dialogue to convey information doesn't have its place, but it has to be done expertly and with care. Can anyone honestly say that the Acolyte does this?
We're planning an escape.
Anyone who said yes is lying. No, this show is the bizarre fantasy of a single fan. In the first 6 minutes of the show, a Jedi Master is killed by an amateur with a throwing knife because she can't multitask. In minute 7, they ruin any chance of redeeming this woman when she reluctantly decides not to kill an innocent bystander in cold blood. Now, understand, I don't care that she is irredeemable, but they are so predictable at this point, it's clear that it's what they intend to do.
I couldn't do it. I failed him. He killed them all and I couldn't do it.
By the end of episode 2, we know a lot about all of the characters, yet we don't know who they actually are. Backstory and characterization are not the same thing. The closest we get to characters are Master Sol and his Padawan, but I credit that more to the acting than anything else.
Why do you keep old hollows of your former Padawan?
If we don't meditate on the past.
We're doomed to repeat it.
So let's run through the list, shall we? Boring? Check. Awful dialogue? Check. An utter lack of characters? Check. And if that weren't bad enough, let's discuss the show's worst sin. The utter disrespect of Jedi and the universe that Star Wars has built. Once again, there is a complete lack of the use of lightsabers and the Force. On multiple occasions, our characters intrude into the minds of others, but refuse to use it to stop a threat. Now, this may seem like a superficial thing, but trust me, there is a point, so bear with me. Our assassin, May, should have been stopped immediately by Master high-priced cameo. Instead, she plays with May, allowing her to put innocence at risk. Her lightsaber could have stopped this whole thing if deployed at the start. Unfortunately, the show is under the impression that a Jedi should only deploy it if they intend to kill. But more on that soon. Going back to the Force, Sol does the same thing as his fellow master and toys with May. At one point in their Episode 2 fight, he actually uses the Force to immobilize her. With 2 other Jedi with him and their vast powers, that should have been it. Instead, he lets her go and decides to just not use the Force again.
You are under arrest.
Lay your weapons down and surrender.
Now, I don't like or agree with a lot of the powers that modern day Star Wars employs, as I feel it's too OP, but this is the world you have created. Live within your rules. You can get into a Force user's mind.
Get out of my head, Jedi.
And you can grab people in midair and hold them like you would any other object. So do it. Live within your rules. Except you can't, because then your story won't play out how it did in your fantasy, and you're too incompetent a writer to figure it out.
I will redeem myself.
Now, to just circle back and briefly touch on lightsabers, and honestly the fighting style in general within the Acolyte, this show is insisting that every fight play out in this Matrix style. And I'm sure that has something to do with one particular cast member.
Yes, my child.
In every iteration of Star Wars, though, including the Disney projects, Jedi have had a certain style of fighting. It's jarring to see a Jedi fighting this way, exclusively hand-to-hand. Not only that, but it nerfs the Jedi's effectiveness. A Jedi wielding a lightsaber would stop May and her knives before she had a chance to harm any bystanders. At least, it would have before lightsabers became, useless. But of course, none of that matters because in the Acolyte, and the greater Disney Star Wars as a whole, the Jedi are anything but honorable. Heroes are villains, villains heroes.
The Jedi justify their galactic dominance in the name of peace.
No longer galactic peacekeepers, the Jedi are now a corruptible, oppressive, intergalactic police force. And we all hate the police. Am I right, guys?
Fuck the police.
Guys, am I right?
Fuck the police.
Guys?
Yo, fuck the police. Fuck the police. Yo, fuck them.
This is the Utah State Police.
In the Acolyte, they intrude into people's minds. They force their will onto others, cover up mistakes, have bigoted ideals, eat all of the cakes in the Jedi Temple cafeteria. God damn it, Ed, we talked about this. Come on. You knew it was going to happen.
He's gone. Come on.
To answer the ultimate question that I know you are all dying to hear me say, no, this is not good. But don't worry, it's still not the worst thing we've gotten.
Hello there.
Of course, there's still plenty of time.
You lost your entire family. Your mothers,